going into the Hall of Fame, the night of the speech, and seeing all those people and seeing the people stand up and clap their hands for me, that really meant a lot.
Matt Buha is one of the best coaches to ever come out of this town.
I'm honored, and when I was told about it a year ago, it struck me really hard, and it was an emotional moment for me, and to look at the history of St. Louis hockey from the late 60s and being a part of it in one way or another till today and seeing the transformation, it was unbelievable.
I mean, he has coached at every level. He has won at every level.
In 1973-74, the visiting NHL hockey teams would always practice at Immerfrost ice rink if the ice wasn't available at the arena. So me and one or two other guys would, I guess, leave school. And we were literally 300 yards from Immerfrost Ice Rink Southwest, and I watched dozens and dozens of NHL practices from Scotty Bowman and Montreal Canadiens, Fred Sherrill, Philadelphia Flyers, and the list goes on. And just observing and watching and trying to watch every little single nuance of what they did. So that was a part of St. Louis hockey, Immerfrost Ice Rink, and watching those teams. Mark Smith. Years later, I consider a true friend and mentor, Mr. Jim Joe Sr., which I mentioned the night of the banquet. I mean, I talked to him about everything from ice hockey to politics to how to run an organization. And his, I guess, dry humor and a little bit bizarre way of looking at things helped me out a lot over the years. So if I had two mentors, it's Mark Smith and Mr. Jim Joe Sr.
He touched the hockey career of Chris Rogels, who would go on to dress as a goalie for the Chicago Blackhawks. In Squirt and Pee Wee AA, he coached Joey Vitale, who ended up playing for Pittsburgh in the NHL and is now with Phoenix. He coached Paul Stastny.
I think I'm the only coach that's gotten kicked out of a game by every Hall of Fame referee.
He coached Ben Bishop, coached Chris Butler, Brandon Bolig, first St. Louisan to have his name on the Stanley Cup.
The night of the speech, I think you may remember what I said, but my mom and dad were just, in my opinion, just super people. Everybody knew them as Big Mike and Marie. The dozens of stories of my dad involved in hockey, from going into the stands in Peoria with Dave Staub to challenge the Peoria fans to being a quality support guy, taking me hockey practice at 6 o'clock in the morning. I think I told, in my opinion, the best story was when I was a junior at Southwest High School and still playing, when my dad was also the assistant trainer for the hockey team. And I got checked in front of the Southwest bench and got the wind knocked out of me. I'm laying on the ice 5 feet from the Southwest boards, couldn't breathe. On a 1 to 10, it was 11. You all been there when you get the wind knocked out of you. I'm laying there, I look up, I see my dad, the ex-pro boxer, and all he could say was, 1, 2, 3, 4, get up, you bum. And that wasn't what a trainer's supposed to do at the time. But, they were just, super parents and also great grandparents to my kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best hockey minds I know in St. Louis, Matt Buha.
I like that. That's a good poster. Take that down. I was, and thank you very much, Hall of Fame committee, and also Steve Dionetta for the nice intro. Yes, I had 3 future Hall of Fame, but NHL players on one roster: Chris Butler, Ben Bishop, and Paul Stastny, and we still lost to CBC. So, I don't know about the value there. I don't know what to say. I mean, I was really touched earlier, and Steve Dionetta said he got a little nervous because I was given a program right before this thing started, a bunch of signatures from kids that I had coached in the 1980s, and I had a systems book, a playbook, so to speak, and they all said wonderful things. So I really want to thank all the players that are here tonight that I coached for all those years, and it was just really touching. Also, my good friends and teammates, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but the teammates here that are old friends of mine, I'm glad you're here. The coaches, the managers, and everybody else that touched my life. I also want to say, in talking about how close this community is, everybody that was inducted here tonight touched my life. I mean, Mr. Dan Kelly actually gave me free tickets to Blues games, and I was a Dogtown kid who hung around the old arena and would sneak in or have a cop let me in or do whatever it took when I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years old to get into Blues games, and I loved it. Jim Herman, on a serious note, and I was going to give him a hard time, but I can't. When I was 16 years old and I played senior men's hockey, Jim was 36 at the time, right? Or no, I'm sorry. I think Jim was only 10 years old, but no, seriously. I was known to be a little feisty as a hockey player, and maybe I said things on the ice I shouldn't say. I can remember a guy playing hockey at Steinberg who had Reader Digests for shin guards and basketball knee pads, and so this is maybe 70 or 71. I remember walking to Steinberg and just being a part of the whole culture of hockey growing in St. Louis. I think that I got a lot of bang for that, and it created a great value for my appreciating the game as I got older. I shared that night that one of my two mentors in this whole scheme of hockey was Mark Smith. And in my opinion, he was the greatest player ever to come out of St. Louis. He left St. Louis from Steinberg at the age of 14, 15 to go to Canada for 3 years, sponsored by Noel Picard and Barclay Pleger. And he came back his senior year in high school, my freshman year in high school, and I learned so much about playing the game of hockey, and he continued to coach for a few years after that. So I think the genesis for me was clearly the South St. Louis type culture, not to belabor it, but the toughness of South St. Louis type mentality. And I think that was a part of how I carried my philosophy on to coaching hockey years later.